specialists, well, take that back, not specialists, MTSS. And all of the MTSS directors at each school, they're supposed to be doing a book study with this. And so I'm taking part in that book study also. But it's called Tackling Attendance Challenges. And so what I'm going to present to you, it might be, I think it's good, but it's an entire initiative. So it's something you can put together to work at the school. And if you're working at the school level, I believe it will work. And they've got proof in here that it will. So it might be something that you will take and sell to everybody else and get buy-in, and I think it'll really work for the school. All right. So success begins. Success in school begins with showing up. Attendance shapes the academic journey. If you're not here, I can't teach you, right? You all know the mission of Percy Julian. You know your core values, you know the vision, but the thing that you want to do is you want to tie your attendance around your mission, your core values, so that it all works together. So your motto, together we build, you want to make sure that you're tying your attendance around that so that that leads you all in the same direction, okay? Everybody knows, y'all know these and you've seen them. So, you know, these are not foreign.
Some of the blue ones we haven't seen.
I haven't seen.
Y'all haven't seen your core values?
Where did you find it?
They are, I was on the committee last year when we made the core values. One of the few times the leadership team met. You know, when we met at the beginning of the year. I think you were in that meeting, Vance.
I was in the beginning and then they didn't meet.
Right, we didn't meet. I think we're supposed to meet monthly, but I think we only met twice last year.
So we've never seen the completed product.
Well, this is,
Where can we
I
find it?
went ahead and put a whole bunch of stuff together for him anyways.
Of course you
And
did.
just, and sent it to him so he would have it. He's actually made a book with it because he presented it at his mid-year review with the information that I presented. But this is the mission, and I believe we came up with this before school started last year. The administrative team came up with the vision. The core values to be an advocate for those who can't be a voice for themselves, to provide the highest quality of service, to maintain the integrity and privacy of each constituent we serve, to be professionals, to be lifelong learners, to be accountable in all areas of service, to strive for excellence in all we do, to be innovative, to foster leadership wherever available, to establish partnerships, to effectively communicate, to provide access, to provide extraordinary customer service. And all of these together, these attributes serve as a standard for Percy Julian school students, and they are affirmed daily in the school's pride call. Percy Julian is a place that embraces diversity in all learners and pushes all students to embrace their own personal pride so that they may become citizens who serve the world in various capacities without partiality, maintaining empathy, integrity, and a commitment to lifelong learning. So basically, all of these together are our goal. And so I kind of gave you all the basis for an attendance initiative centered around these things. All right, so this is just to bring y'all into it. This is me.
We've all heard the question.
Did I miss anything? All right, so I'm going to read through, and this is actually a poem. But the bold words, I want y'all to say together with me.
Okay.
All right? So here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Nothing.
When we realized you were here, we sat with our hands folded on our desk in silence for a full 2 hours every day. I gave an exam worth 40% of the grade for this term and assigned some reading due today. on which I'm about to hand out a quiz worth 50%.
Nothing.
None of the content of this course has value or meaning. Taking as many days off as you like, any activities we undertake as a class, I assure you, will not matter either to you or me and are without purpose. Everything. A few minutes after we began last time, a shaft of light suddenly descended and an angel or other heavenly being appeared and revealed to us what each woman or man must do to attain divine wisdom in this life. And this is the last time we will meet before we disperse to bring the good news to all people on earth. Nothing. When you are not present, how could something significant occur? Everything contained in this classroom is a microcosm of human experience assembled for you to query and examine and ponder. This is not the only place such an opportunity has been gathered, but it was one place and you weren't here. So it's all like we get all this stuff together for our students. We are doing our best to keep up, make sure our students aren't failing, reteach, do all this stuff, but it makes no difference if they're not here. So I think we've got to reroute, go back to the drawing board, figure out what we can do about this attendance. Because since the pandemic, it's just gotten worse. And our statistics, we have a mission, we have a vision, we have core values, we have goals and dreams individually. We are prepared when we come in the classroom, the majority of us, but none of this matters if our students aren't there. So just to give you a little bit of statistics, 21, 22, and this is on the report card, our absenteeism was 45.9%.
Just still bad.
Very. Guess what? 22, 23, we went down. And then 23, 24, we went to 47.37. So it's like it's just steadily getting worse. So I mean, there needs to be some attention to it if we're going to change anything. Because like we say, we can't do anything for our students if they're not here. All right. So phase one of this initiative would be to establish an attendance team that will meet regularly. This must be an active team that will meet throughout the year and monitor attendance. Each team member should have an established role. Now, to make this team work and to work through this initiative, the most important roles of the attendance team is regularly monitoring individualized metrics and ADA, that's average daily attendance, for reasons for absences. One of the things that we need to do is monitor the absenteeism, and we can get that from Power School. That can be printed out and given to us, how many people are missing. They can do that weekly, they can do that monthly. That can be printed out and given to us. But if we have a committee, so we have these names that if we checked, maybe monthly, we can see, or bi-weekly, we can see how many absences are being approved and try to, this initiative tries to deal with them as it's going on, not waiting till they have several absences. But the other important thing is, why are our kids missing? Okay? Is it because they're sick? Is it because they're skipping? Is it because class instruction isn't good? Yes.
One main reason that I see regularly is school activity and field trip.
School activities and field trip. You may need to reel them in.
Yeah.
One of the things in this initiative is plan those, first of all, cut back. But the second of those would be to plan them strategically. Those times when you have your highest absences, put your field trips and all of that then. And then you could increase your attendance because they'll be present on the field trip. You see what I'm saying? But when you have so many, they lose their effect.
It should also be only available to the 80 students.
Right. AB.
Or
And
at least
I,
ABC maybe.
yeah, maybe ABC.
Because DNF shouldn't get to miss school because they already screwing them.
But,
That's just reality, baby.
True, true. All right, so on this team, some of the things you want to do is include an administrator, instructional coach, MTSS coordinator, counselor, SPED, nurse, 5 or more general education teachers. And the reason why you want such a spectrum, you know, the nurse has statistics. That can factor into how many kids are sick, right? And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later, but counselor and the SPED got a lot of kids with anxiety problems. ESL right now. The other day when I was up here doing ACT prep, Miss Harris came through and she was just taking pictures of the ACT prep. One of the Spanish girls, when she took her camera out, she ran to the panic some of them are feeling right now with what's going on in government. I mean, I just couldn't get over it for the rest of the day. My husband was just like, what's wrong? I just thought, that hurt my heart for her to.
It's real, and it's big because when we had safety day, half the Hispanics refused to leave the school. They wouldn't go out there, the police were out there. They were like, nope.
I didn't even think about that.
They said, we know what they're here for, we ain't going out there.
But we have to have some kind of way to deal with that anxiety and that pressure. And also just the social aspects of school, integrating kids into making our classrooms safe spaces, really making our classrooms safe spaces, where they don't feel like they're going to be attacked or harassed, those kind of things. And there are things that we can do because there were some times here when kids love to be here, you know, and some of that has faded over the last couple of years. And so we need to get that back, okay? Establish a regular meeting schedule, create a vision for and goals for the attendance team. So really making goals geared toward attendance. But before we can make those goals, we have to know what our attendance problems are. So sitting down and analyzing the metrics of attendance, right? That means not only knowing that these many kids, this many children were absent, but also knowing why. All right? So we need to go through the whys and analyze and then see what is it that we can do about those. Okay? Providing ongoing communication, attendance data, team, school efforts, staff, families, clarify attendance policies to all stakeholders, regularly monitoring individualized metrics, and monitor reasons for absence. This is where your initiative is going to hinge on the why. When we know the why, then we can make changes. But just knowing that we have a lot of kids absent, that's the problem. That's not the why. And I think a lot of times we're trying to attack the problem without attacking the reasons. All right, so if we monitor attendance, now this one is just done on a school of 500 kids, but we come up with our, according to how many kids we have, we come up to what's a regular attendance and figure out what our 5% is or less. What our 5.1 to 9.9%, and those would be our at-risk attendance. What our chronic absence and severe chronic absences are. So divide some categories, and these will be our 4 categories. So then, just an example of doing that, if we calculated the 5%, it's an 80-day, it's the 80 day of the school year. 5% of 80 days, so any student with more than is 4. So any student with more than 4 absences, they start the school year with regular attendance. You see? So they have regular attendance. And then we print a list of those students. The team prints a list. Those who have fewer days of attendance since the start of school, 5% or less, those will be our regular attendance. Okay? We can reward those. Okay? Advertise, reward those who are doing good. The next thing, we can divide those numbers with the regular attendees multiply by 100, get the percentage there. The team counts 279 students with 4 fewer days of absence, divides the 279 by the number of enrolled after multiplying. That gives us 55.8 of the student body is regular attendance. You see? So then we're narrowing down so we know which category the students fit in, and those we need to attack right here. So if we start this at the beginning of the school year, or we started it whenever we started, get on those at-risk, chronic, and severe right then. Okay? Severe may be a category we may not have, as we're going to have to put down more interventions for what we do for that group. But at least we have identified them, we know who they are, and we know why.